All right, everybody, welcome to the Yankee and the Brit. I'm Jay, he's Matty, and we're going to talk about J.J. Watt.
Damn right. There we go. I love waking up to this news. This kind of news is like the thing. Like honestly, trade talk is what I'm all about. I love that.
All right,
This isn't trade talk, I suppose. This is free agency, but same
on
thing.
Wisconsin. And since I'm the worst singer in the world, I don't usually do it to anybody, but on Wisconsin, grand old Badger State. All right, now I'm just going to tell you quick. Badger State's going to be mad at me by the end of this podcast, but that's okay. I love you, Wisconsin. I'm a big J.J. Watt fan, so I am a big homer. I am a T.J. Watt fan. Like, they're from my state, and I've told you before, like, I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I'm a Romo fan, Burlington, Wisconsin. I cheered for Kaepernick in the Super Bowls because he was from Wisconsin before his family moved to California. I am just a homer guy. Watching kids come out of my state to do great things, I just love it. So I'd be honest up front with that first. But I think we're around the same teams. We just have different ideas and where. So why don't you just give us your thoughts on the Texans letting him go and where you think he's going to end up?
Yeah, so I think the Texans letting him go was always going to happen. I think we knew that was going to be a thing. We all knew that JJ Watt wouldn't be playing for the Texans next year because he's a $17 million cap hit. And let's be real, he's injury prone. He's not really, he's not worth $17 million anymore, especially with the cap going down. So I think that makes sense. What I was surprised about is they didn't go up to JJ and said, look, you can go wherever you want, but we would like to get a pick. So like a 6th or 7th round pick. So could you restructure your contract with us and we'll try and get a pick for you? So I thought that was very strange, but with the way that the Texans are being run at the minute, I mean, it's not the biggest surprise.
I did read something that Ian Rappaport wrote that there was 1 or 2 teams who offered a 5th round pick, but it's not where JJ wanted to go. Yeah. So the team weren't scumbags about it, which there's a lot of bad shit going on in Houston right now. But I think this was a class move to let a guy who gave you 10 years, who stepped up after the Hurricanes and raised a ton of money for that city and did amazing things. Walter Payton, man of the year type guy, he won it before. So I think it was a really class move to let JJ at the end of his career go chase a ring or whatever he wants.
Yeah, exactly. Decide where he wants to go. It was a class move. I think of it for totally different reasons than you. I think they wanted to show a bit of class considering all the absolute garbage they've been going through for the past couple of months. Obviously, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, so the Texans aren't my favorite people on the planet. But just into Texas rivalry, So they're not my
I don't
favorite.
disagree with your reasoning. I don't disagree with why they did it. But at this point, if you're J.J. Watt, I don't think the why matters as much as the what.
I think he's happy with what's happened there. He's really happy, and he was really nice when he came out and thanked the Texans in that Wisconsin Badgers hoodie that you're wearing, which is why I think he'll be making his way to Green Bay as his number 1 choice.
Well, Green Bay I have at number 2 on my list, but I won't get my list. I won't get us all confused. I'll stick with Green Bay right now. Yeah. Bro, for going to Green Bay, besides being a Wisconsin kid, because he even said before I had Badger and Packer stuff in my closet growing up, right?
Yeah.
His wife plays professional soccer in Chicago, which is less than 3 hours from Green Bay.
Yeah, I think the Green Bay move makes the most logistical sense, as well as they were in the NFC Championship, and there is a lot of cause to say they were a pass rusher away from being able to stop Tom Brady. Like, they're a pass rusher away from being able to get to Tom Brady, and I think it would be a good move for him if he's going and chasing rings to have Aaron Rodgers there. And I'm not 100% sure the Packers are going to be as good, but I'm never sure that the Packers are going to be good at the start of the season. And then they always seem to prove me wrong and come out and play really well. And I think that's a great place for him to go chase a ring. And he's a homer. So, he's can be close to his wife as well. And I think it's just the move that makes the most sense for both parties to do.
Okay, before I even go into my number 1, yours and my number 3 is something we were talking about before we hit record. And I think it never crossed my mind. And I think you said the same thing. Like you weren't really thinking about it until Pat McAfee brought it up.
Yeah.
But
our favorite broadcaster, Pat McAfee.
That dude's energy is so electric. It is so electric.
That's kind of where we get all of our information from.
I used to make fun of AJ Hawk because of his hair flip and all that stuff. I love that dude now too, okay? And actually, Pat McAfee's show is the reason I don't think Aaron Rodgers is a scumbag anymore, because I've heard so many bad stories about him. And then I came to find out it was probably just haters, because if you look at the source, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But he brought up Tampa Bay, and at first I was like, nah, and then I was like, wait. Every free agent who's ring chasing, who's at the end of their career and already got paid, it's going to cross their mind.
It makes far too much sense for Tampa Bay to get it done. I'm not sure how much sense it makes for JJ Watt to get it done, apart from the ring chasing, obviously, because you were the ultimate ring chaser. But with Tampa Bay, they're going to have a few players to have to pay up, even if some people are taking a pay cut to be with Brady. So Shaq Barrett has talked about wanting to get his money, hasn't he? So he's saying, he's basically kind of gone, I've won my Super Bowl ring. Now I want my money, which, hey, fair enough, man. Like, you deserve to get paid now.
Get paid.
The NFL stands for not for long. So if Tampa wants to pay him, if Tampa can pay him, I'd say stick with Shaq Barrett. But if they kind of want to play it's savvy, and they want to do the whole thing where they're all in for the next 2 to 3 years to see if they can get another Super Bowl, then maybe give JJ Watt a call and say, hey man, do you want to come down and play for a team that's actually well put together and has a chance of making it back to the Super Bowl this year, and then ship Shaq Barrett out for a couple of draft picks. And
JJ Watt, I don't see wanting huge money, because you know what I mean? I think he wanted out to go to a different situation. Yeah. So what's he going to want? 6, 8, maybe 10, but I doubt it. 6, 8 million a year.
Nowhere near 10. I think
I'm just saying, if the top guys are getting 20 and JJ out of respect asked for 10, you'd probably give it to him.
Yeah.
Especially if it was over a couple-year deal, because you can play cap games with the money. But I think Brady's going to restructure, because he's only got 1 year left, and he's that type of dude where he'll probably still make the 25 a year, but he'll give them extra years to play. And I think you could probably get Shaq Barrett back with restructuring Brady and letting Godwin go, and maybe still getting JJ there. But for me, sorry, Packer fans, my opinion, he's not coming to Green Bay. He's not going to Tampa. He's going to Pittsburgh to play with both of his brothers. I just think no matter what, it seems so logical. And how do you tell your brother TJ no when he's already been on Twitter?
Yeah, he's already called you out, man.
And just a shout out to a team you like. Stephon Diggs has been recruiting that dude via Twitter also.
Hey, actually, holy shit, the Bills. Oh my God, I want him to go to the Bills. Yes, JJ Watt to the Bills. That's it. Number one.
I don't think it'll happen.
I don't think it'll happen either. But that would make sense for the Bills, actually. So good job on Stephon Diggs for trying to get him there. But I already think there's too many players. There's too many places in front of them where he can go. So, yeah, Steelers were my second choice. Both of his brothers are there. And when you've got your little brother posting this,
right?
Like to come here, like, what do you say to that? Like, you either hate your brother and don't want to play with him, or that's what Pat McAfee said, wasn't it?
Tone Diggs.
Yeah, Tone Diggs.
He was like, well, if you hate your family and your brother, then you'll go play for Green Bay.
Yeah, basically. Well, like, I don't think the move makes sense for JJ in terms of ring chasing, because I don't think they'll be back to the Super Bowl for another couple of years at least.
I think that defense is going to be tough, and they might be able to ride it out. I watched Tampa Bay do it back in the day with Sapp and them. You know what I mean? It's not it's not the easiest road to take, but the Giants defense and a few really well-placed throws by Manning are what got them there, right? So you can ride a defense and a running game, but I think it's going to be almost impossible.
Yeah, well, Tampa kind of proved that you can ride a defense to go win. And obviously they have an absolutely awesome offense, but in the playoffs, that it's arguable to say that it was their defense that won them the games in the playoffs because they had a really good defense that everybody kind of slept on. So I think Tampa kind of proved that as well. And I just don't know, with Big Ben, the Big Ben issues, Pouncey's just retired, so they need to restructure their O-line as well, which has always been a big thing for them. And centers are quite hard to find in the draft. And then obviously Big Ben, Juju's wanting out, which actually could be good for the Steelers, to be perfectly honest. So it would make a lot of sense for the Steelers to get JJ Watt, get the 3 Watt brothers together. And it would make sense in terms of he'll have a lot of fun for his last little bits. And obviously they will make a ton of money on advertising as well if they all did it, all 3 of them.
And how
together.
often do you get to play with your brothers in the National Football League?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
the Cordy twins, very awesome to see them out there. Baseball, I don't know if you guys watch much baseball, but
we watch
baseball
cricket instead. Yeah,
the Upton brothers back in the day on the Braves was very cool. Like, it's that kind of thing too. And like, I just like Tone Diggs is like, well, if you hate your brother, you know. But
yeah. Pittsburgh would be a great place for him to be. Green Bay would be a great place for him to be. Tampa is the one that people are sleeping on, and I think that would really work. And then there's also cause to say the Cleveland Browns, but I don't know where that's coming from. But
me either. But I think my dog agrees with you. I don't know if you heard her.
Yeah, he was going mental. He was going.
Yeah, I think the mailman came, but I think she was yelling at me, telling me that she's coming to Green Bay, but I don't know.
Coming to Green Bay. Yeah, coming to Green Bay. I think Green Bay would be the place for him to go if he wanted a ring, because I think Tampa will restructure their way around getting Shaq Barrett back in and getting him paid. To be perfectly honest,
going to Tampa, but I thought it was a really
I
never thought about it till Pat brought it up, and it makes sense.
Yeah, it's like I love the idea. I think Cleveland could be one of the ones that Ian Rappaport reported for a 5th round.
Okay, because I
didn't know where JJ didn't want to go.
I didn't know where Cleveland came from. I just started seeing it, and then I read some report that said JJ Watt brought up Cleveland, but I couldn't find any truth to that online. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would seem a strange move from one. I know they're getting better, but like it would seem. I think
he's either going to Hockeytown, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Hockeytown, Pennsylvania.
Or he's coming to Titletown, Wisconsin. That's what I think, but that's just me, you know?
Yeah, no chance of him coming to Dallas, I'm afraid. I would love to see him in Dallas, but
that would almost be like cheating after being a Texan. That'd be like a slap in the face. You know what I mean?
Yeah. After them really helping him out, he decides to go to Dallas just to really mess with them. But
well, JJ Watt's not going to be an every snap player. He's going to play 30 snaps for you. But just something I wanted to throw out there, because I know people know he's great, but he may have been the greatest defensive player of all time if it wasn't for injuries.
Yeah.
But just a couple numbers to think about. So in 10 years, he played 128 games, 101 sacks, 3-time defensive player of the year, 6 touchdowns, 8-time All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler. I'm still not sure how you're an All-Pro and not a Pro Bowler. 282 times he has hit a quarterback, and he's got 531 tackles. My body just hurts thinking about that.
Yeah, and I think the fact that he hasn't made it to a Super Bowl is just like upsetting. So whoever JJ Watt goes to, I'm backing for the Super Bowl, unless it's obviously the Packers, where I hope they make it to the NFC Championship game and then get beat by the Cowboys. But that's not going to happen. But
I told you I was going to piss off Packer fans, and it's going to get worse because as a Vikings fan, I don't want to see them in the Super Bowl either. Skull Nation.
So yeah. So for our sakes, then actually, we hope that JJ Watt goes to Pennsylvania to play his football, but not Philly, obviously.
Or Cleveland. I'd be cool with Cleveland, even though I don't think it's going to happen.
I'd be okay with Cleveland. Yeah, I think it would be. I think it would be fun in Cleveland. Wherever he goes, he's gonna take success, like a successful attitude with him, and he will obviously carry himself in great esteem. And any community that gets JJ Watt will be lucky to have him. And I think it's between Pennsylvania and Green Bay. And good luck to him.
Yeah, I was just being selfish because I'm really excited to see what
me too.
Cleveland does next year. So I was like, go there, help them out. Like, let's have a Browns Vikings Super Bowl. All right. So I don't know. I just think wherever he lands, I agree with you. He's a great addition. I think scheme wise, Pittsburgh fits a little bit better than Green Bay, but that dude can play anywhere. So I don't think that's even on the decision mountain. You know what I mean? That's like wherever he goes, he's going to be fine. Coaches aren't going to wear him out. I think they'll realize that another year off of an injury where he finally played 16 games again, that he'll probably get some more of that burst back. And he is going to turn 32 in like a week or two, but that's not that old for a defensive player who's not going to play every snap. And as long as he doesn't want a ton of money, can you ask for a better locker room guy? I don't think so.
Yeah, he still looks special. Like when he's actually on the pitch and able to go full throttle, he still looks like special. Like, and you've got to remember, everybody who plays the Texans is double teaming JJ Watt. So also, if he goes to Steelers, then there's a big chance he'll get some single matchups, and that'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, I said, it's going to be exciting to see how this whole free agency plays out, because this year's going to be a little bit different than past years, because we did think the cap was going to go down to 175, but it does look like it's going to be at like around 185. So there'll be that extra 10 million, but there's still going to be teams cutting players they didn't want to. So we'll come back to you guys with a video about Dak Prescott and some money, in a future here. So that's another thing. Like, this money of these players with the salary cap going down is going to be a huge problem, because I'm always pro player getting paid. But the fan in me always tries to look at it from the team side, because I want to win. So it's always a weird thing, and money's always going to be an issue. But all right,
that's
guys.
Why JJ Watt will be perfect, because he will take a pay cut to finally have a successful team behind him.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Thanks for checking us out. It's going to be exciting to see where JJ Watt goes. I'm excited for anything football coming up, because tomorrow I don't have any football to watch. So I can't wait for free agency and the draft, and then get us back to preseason. I can't wait. All right, guys.
You should get up with me and watch the cricket at 4 a.m. England against India.
Understand it. I read it. I told you. I read the rules. I literally have to watch it to understand what I'm reading.
I'll do a video explaining it. I'll do when it's not snowing in the back garden. I'll get outside and I'll show you all how to play cricket.
Perfect.
Right. Awesome. Cheers, guys. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. One world, one love. Keep checking us out. And before I forget, if you're watching on Facebook, like and follow. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe and hit that notification button. And I really hate self-promotion, but you got to do it. One world, one love. Deuces.
Cheerio.